wife and a baby. So that kind of shot the rumor down, but at the same time, baby, no rumor shoots down nothing with me. Just because you got a wife and a baby don't mean that you're not gay. Like, come on now. Hey besties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Prince Zay. If you can't tell from the title below, today is going to be another story time. And today we're just going to be getting into it the time where I got into it with my teacher. And not like no regular like get into it, but I'm talking about getting into it, period. Like I said, pretty much this all took place my junior year of high school, and this was like right before I moved to Virginia, because I actually graduated high school in Virginia, but at the time I was living in North Carolina because that's where I'm from. So at the time this took place, this was my junior year of high school, and I was in theater arts class, and I love theater arts because I just love acting. Like, I even do it a little bit now that I'm, of course, out of high school. I'm way past high school, but you know, I've always loved theater arts. So I had took, theater arts class. And this is the time also when iPhones, of course, was popular. Like, I'm not old or anything. Like, I'm 24, but at the time I was like 16, or I was like 17. I was 17. So I was 17, and I believe the iPhone 5S was like popular because that was like my first iPhone, and that was the iPhone that I actually had. At this time, I was in theater arts class, and they had this, there was this other boy in my class. He was another gay male. And wait, so before I even get to the story, y'all, I kind of have to give y'all a backstory because the backstory kind of plays into the actual initial story. So let's just jump to the backstory. So the backstory is theater arts class. I have the way our theater arts teacher used to have us sit, like he would have us sit in like circles, but he would have us sit like 4 or 5 to a table. I believe like 4 to a table. So it was like 4 of us to a table. And at that time, we had a new theater arts teacher because our school could never keep theater arts teacher. Like every year or even semester, they will fire one and hire a new one. So I was already taking theater arts. Like I took theater arts the previous year. I was taking it like every semester because, you know, North Carolina, to graduate, you got to have like a cluster of classes. So like a cluster of of something. So my cluster was theater arts. So I had already took theater arts. So this year we had a brand new theater arts teacher. He was a white man. And you know what I'm saying? He barely was even in the class. Like, I promise you, he only came to class like once a week. I don't even know how he even became a theater arts teacher, but he literally was in class like once a week. And all the other times we had like a substitute. And I didn't understand it. And I remember we used to always complain about that to our substitute. Every time we get a substitute, we'd be like, he never come to class. He's never here. We always have a substitute. They need to fire him. So like, we always had a substitute. There was this gay boy in my class specifically. I'm not going to drop any names, but I had a gay boy in my class. And one day he sat at my table as well. One day he came to class and he basically told us, because we thought that the teacher was gay. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. We had assumed that our theater arts teacher was gay just from like different mannerisms, just different things, but he had a wife and a baby. So that kind of shot the rumor down, but at the same time, baby, no rumor shoots down nothing with me. Just because you got a wife and a baby don't mean that you're not gay. Like, come on now. So I thought he was gay, but everybody else was like, no, he can't be. He got a wife, he got a kid. Well, honey, one day the gay boy that sat at my table, he came to class. And we were in high school at the time, of course. He came to class and he basically was showing us his, he was on a gay app in high school. And he was basically showing us his gay app. And he showed us, he was like, oh my God, y'all, I found our theater arts teacher on the gay app. So literally he came to class, because this is when we had a substitute. So our teacher wasn't even there. He literally came to class and showed the whole entire class. Like my theater arts class, that class I took specifically where I got into it with the teacher, we were actually all really cool. Like the class, I guess because we barely had a teacher there and we all had to kind of like band together, but we were actually all like really cool with each other. So when he came to class, he showed everybody. Like he showed the profile, and on the profile it was saying that he had a wife, but he, I guess, dibble and dab with guys and stuff. So I'm like, I knew he was gay. So that's the backstory. So let's fast forward a couple weeks later. We're actually getting ready for our first like play or something. So we're like practicing, we're like doing our scripts and stuff, and we're getting ready for a play. Well, on a specific day, the theater arts teacher, because he really wasn't much of a teacher, he has us go into the auditorium, and we're not even doing nothing this day. We're just literally sitting in there because that night, I believe that night or the night before that, we had to do a play that we were all practicing and getting ready for. So we were sitting in the we were sitting in the auditorium. That same gay guy that came to class and showed us that our teacher was gay was the same guy that I ended up getting into it with. I had my iPhone 5S at the time, and y'all remember when auto boxes were popular? I'm pretty sure they're still popular, but I feel like I don't see people wear auto boxes as much as they used to. But at the time, I had an auto box on my phone, and so literally I'm sitting in the we're in the auditorium and everybody's just kind of scattered everywhere, sitting in the crowd. We're on our phones, like we weren't doing anything. I was sitting with my homegirl, and we were just really chilling on our phone, just chilling because we had nothing to do. We can just be on our phone and just chill. So in the class, we used to play fight a lot. Like, we used to play fight. We used to play Bad Girls Club. Like I said, the whole class was cool with each other. Like, everybody was cool. Like, it was no beef with nobody. Like, that was the first time I could say where I had one class where everybody spoke to each other. Everybody was cool. So we barely had a teacher there. So a lot of times when the teacher wasn't there, we used to play like Bad Girls Club, or we used to like play fight or whatever. So we had that type of relationship. Everybody had like that type of relationship going on in the class. On this specific day, I guess he thought like, we were playing, but it was nothing to be played with. But I guess he thought like we were playing. Because like I said, we always play. Like maybe he didn't know. So I'm sitting there on my phone or whatever, and he just randomly comes up and snatches my phone out of my hand. Now, this is the gay boy I'm talking about that showed us that the teacher was on the gay app. He comes up and snatches my phone out my hand. And so, what I'm saying? I guess we play like that. So it wasn't no biggie. The biggie was when he snatched the phone out of my hand, he threw it. And he threw it down the aisle and that shit hit the ground. Now I know you're probably like, it don't matter, Zay. You had an auto box on, he threw it, but I don't give a fuck because I'm about to tell y'all. It was like when I told him, as soon as he threw my phone and hit the ground, I'm telling him like, now if I get up, I'm gonna beat your ass. Cause everybody know I don't play that shit. Like I'm gonna beat your ass or you gonna give me my money because why would you even do some random shit like that? I know we play and stuff, but I don't play like that. I would never come up and grab somebody's phone and throw their phone and whatever. So y'all, I go pick up my phone, and guess what? With the auto box on and all, my phone is cracked, like shattered. Like my screen is fucking shattered, y'all. Like the back, y'all remember how the back of the iPhone 5S's, like it was like metal, but the top pieces were glass. Those parts was already broken. But my front of the screen, that's why I had the auto box on there. But the front of my screen was fine. It was not even broken. When I picked up my phone, y'all, my shit was fucking broke. And I was angry, and I had just told him, if my phone is broken, I'm gonna beat your ass, or you gonna give me my money. Cause also the gay boy, he always used to come to school with money. Like he would come to school with like stacks of hundreds. I don't know what he did outside of school, but he would come to school with money. So I knew he had it. So that's why I said, either you get my money or I'm gonna beat your ass, and I want my money today. So once I pick up my phone, I walk up to him, I'm telling him the same thing. I'm showing him like my phone is messed up, and we getting ready to get into it. Or you gonna give me my money? He's like, I don't have the money. I can give the money to you tomorrow. And I'm like, no, bitch, I don't want the money tomorrow. I want it today. Or do you want your ass beat? Of us arguing, the teacher comes and he's coming back in because, like I said, he was never there. He had us in the auditorium and he still wasn't there. But when he comes in, he's trying to get us settled. But the thing with me is, I'm not trying to get settled because you just cracked my phone. So we're not talking about nothing unless I get my money or I'm about to beat your ass in front of everybody. So we're going back and forth. The teacher talking about something, be quiet. And so I'm telling him like, no, I'm not going to be quiet because I'm not going to be quiet because he just broke my phone and I want my money or I'm going to beat his ass. So then I'm like, no. So I turn back to the boy and we still going back and forth. Teacher turned around and told me to shut up. He told me to shut up and go to the office. Okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go to the office. So before I go to the office, I turn to the teacher and I'm saying, you're just mad because you was on a gay website when you was supposed to be straight. And I said, when he told me to shut up, he said it with an attitude. He's like, shut up. Like he said it loud and aggressive. And I'm a little guy, I'm 5'4", and the dude is big. So yeah, you're aggressive to me, I'm gonna be aggressive to you, and that falls for anybody. So yeah, when he said that, I said, you're just mad because you're on a gay website and you got caught. Turned around, walked away. Y'all, I gotta show y'all, because I gotta stand up so I can kind of show y'all. The moment I turned around, like the moment I turned to walk away, because I had my book bag and stuff, the moment I turned to walk away, he came up behind me and balled his fist up, and he's walking up to me and he goes, I wish I could just, like in the back of my neck, I wish I could just. So I turned around, dropped my bag, and I'm like, you wish you could just what? You wish you could just what? Because I'll fuck you up right now. And so after I said that, I was like, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to have my dad come up here and fuck you up. So after I said that, I walked to the office. So I'm in the office. I'm trying to tell them the story. I'm calling my dad. I'm like, you need to come to the school right now and fuck this teacher up because he got me fucked up. Either you do it or I'm about to do it. And I still owe that boy ass whooping. So I'm in the office now talking to them, trying to tell them what's going on. Meanwhile, while old boy that had broke my phone, mind y'all, he told me he wasn't gonna get my money until because I was still gonna get on his ass once I got that office. You know, when we get to that bus, it was gonna be a wrap. But why he came into the office like before it was time for me to leave, and he come in with money Yeah. He came in with the money and he gave me my money. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I didn't know you was gonna get into it with the teacher. You didn't know it was gonna be like that because why would you even grab my phone and throw it? Like I would never do that to somebody that didn't pay for the item that I'm throwing. So I didn't understand that at all. But he did give me my money and it was what it was. So I didn't get suspended because I didn't do nothing. Because a lot of people thought I would get suspended because the teacher, he told me, like, after we got into it, he was trying to say, like, I was going to get suspended. He was like, I would never be able to act in a play anywhere. And I don't give a fuck to act in no play because you was never even in the classroom to begin with. So why do I give a fuck about what you say? I guess everybody thought I was going to get suspended because he kicked me out the play. And the play was that night, I believe, because that when I had went home, they was calling me like, oh, where you at? Where you at? And I was like, I'm not coming because he said I couldn't come. But the next day, I showed up to class. I remember I showed up to class and everybody's just looking at me and the classroom got all quiet and stuff. He's talking about no, I can't be in the classroom, that I need to go sit in the office. So the next day, the next day when I came back, I couldn't even sit in his class. I had to go sit in the office that whole class period. And then the next day I was finally able to come back to his class, but we wasn't allowed to speak no more. We wasn't allowed to have phones no more. Like he tried to make it a rule that we couldn't talk unless spoken to, and then we couldn't have our phones out no more. Like he really even did anything. And then it was just crazy, y'all. And literally that semester, like the end of that semester, I was moving to Virginia because my dad was just tired of me being in that school. And so once that next semester came, I still kept in contact with people who was at my old school, of course, and they had fired him. Thank Jesus. They fired the theater arts teacher. They never could keep a theater arts teacher, like I said, but they fired him and they ended up getting a new theater arts teacher. And they ended up actually placing cameras into that situation, had them actually start placing cameras into the classrooms. I guess to see what was going on, they should have been had cameras in the classroom because I feel like he tried to violate me. Like, why would you as a teacher even walk up? Yeah, I said what I said, but you should have never told me to shut up. And then you came up behind me with your fist ball talking about something you wish you could just what? Wish you could just what? Yeah, that was the most craziest, like that. I think that was like the most craziest experience I had in high school. Like I've been through some crazy experiences, but with a teacher, I feel like that was really crazy. And honestly, he lucky I didn't put my hands on him because my temper can really go from 0 to 100. But like I said, I tried to be respectful. I knew if I did that, it probably would have been like a whole nother thing. He really would have got fucked up for real. Because actually, y'all, I ain't tell y'all. So my dad did come up to the school. He did come to the school the next day. So the next day, he came up to the school and he tried to talk to the principals and he tried to get the teacher to come up to the office so they could talk face to face. But when they tried to call the teacher to come into the office, he was playing games. So y'all, my dad was like, oh, where's the classroom at? And show me. So I started walking him to the classroom because at that point it's up and it's stuck. So I'm walking him to the classroom and they start calling security, trying to get my dad not to go over there, trying to get my dad not to go to the classroom. So he never made it to the classroom. They ended up calling security. And then that was the day where I had to sit in the office that class period. And then the day after that, that's when they were saying we couldn't talk and have no phones. And I don't feel like that was my fault. Like, please comment down below if you feel like I was in the wrong. Because if anybody threw y'all property possessions, y'all be upset too. And especially if you're trying to get distinguished. Like, that's what I was trying to tell my teacher in that moment when we was going back and forth. Like, not trying to be rude, but I'm trying to handle this right now because you're not handling it. You're never here. This boy just threw my phone and my phone is cracked. You don't pay my phone bill. Hell, I wasn't even paying my phone bill at the time. So, like, no, I need my money because that's fucked up. I didn't do it. Period. Guys, like I said, that was just pretty much like a little small story time of my time I was going to get into it in high school, period. If you guys like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and share. And thank you for listening to my story, but your boy is out.